explain uh, basically, I can't go into too much detail, but I'll explain just the basic difference between Windows applications and Unix. Um, a Windows application is like a task. They call it an algorithm where you have you want to build a project, so you click a button. This is all part of an algorithm. It clicks in that. What you're doing is choosing different options on the algorithm. So, you click yes, yes, I want to build a project, finish. I won't do it now, but you build your project, build a new file. You want to, I suppose I could, actually, no, I'll just make a file. Build a file, and part of the algorithm is still, um, you know, filling in all the code, whatever. This is a program where you can write little programs to run things and program microcontrollers. So you can have a microcontroller that controls a fan on a heater or something. It switches off at a certain time, and you program in all the variables and everything. And I'm learning this at the moment at school, so I can sort of refresh my memory. It's all in there. Everything's in there. Like, I remember it all, but it's just my life happening. I'm not going to just stop my life, sit here, eject everything I know in one go and say, oh, gee, I know everything. Life is like sipping good wine, You just want to take little sips and find out what's in there gently and surprise yourself and enjoy life. I get all this pressure around me to find out everything I know. Like, it's like, well, you might as well dissect the whole universe. I mean, it's best to just enjoy it with the person rather than just assaulting them and harassing them and making their life unlivable. So if you want to find anything out, come talk to me. We'll sit around and have a coffee and talk about things. I'm quite happy to. You might be surprised what you find out, or you might find out nothing. Or you might think, oh, I know all that already, and walk off. What's the difference? So if you're interested, you can do that. I'd rather that than people hacking me, bothering me while I'm trying to write and changing my text on screen and playing around with my scroll bars and things while I'm trying to look up web pages and just being a general, I won't say any more swear words, but a general fucking idiot. So yeah, so the difference really, this is one algorithm, this program really, it has many different options. So these are all options in the algorithm. So this program is an algorithm. It would have been written as an algorithm. It would have been a whole string. And each string has different callings. Like, you'll call in a certain command into the string, and that would change aspects of the string, which changes the destination or the outcome. So this algorithm would have been quite basic. To provide the programmers the means to design this program. So I would say, they put in a lot of other options themselves, things they want to put in, analysis, synthesis, probably more modern things I wouldn't have thought of, or whoever designed it wouldn't have thought of. All this sort of stuff, a JTAG, chain debugger, program or pro would have been in there. There would have been probably this mega wizard things, wizards and that. I think they put those in Windows. There would have been something like licenses. I wouldn't have thought of having separate licenses for things, and probably a chip planner probably wouldn't have had that in there. So there's lots of stuff they're designing. But Unix is the basic algorithm behind this actual function of this software, which they've accessed in a way that's sort of like, they talk about layers in computers, like you have your physical layer, then you have a network layer or whatever comes after that, then in the end you have your sort of mice and your devices and things. So when you click a button, you're not clicking anything there really. I mean, there's nothing there. It's sort of, you're clicking a script to say, show a clock, move the clock, make it turn blue, and then, bring up this window. So that's part of the algorithm to get to this part. I want to go to tools now, options, customize something, and that'll change the outcome of this algorithm. And basically, the algorithm is, by the time you finish, you save it under whatever. I won't save it, and then you go programmer or whatever you're doing, and then it will go. This is part of the algorithm. It looks like all this stuff's happening on screen, but it's just a code running along. A code like that is ones and zeros, and all you're doing is changing a few with these options and changing the outcome of the string. So a string is just ones and zeros going bzzz through your computer saying, switch all these gates on and off rapidly, on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off, to tell the computer to do this, 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 and this in the processor, and then come out with this save file at the end. So the save file then goes to your JTAG or your hardware, and that's the end of the algorithm, is where you send the file in here. You'd have your hardware, your little Max device. I've got one in my bedroom, a Max V, Max 5 little microprocessor, which you can clip onto a breadboard, use wiring, and all you're doing is uploading to the flash drive or whatever storage it's got. The little design you've made, the little piece of code to say, when you go on pin 1, then connect that to, a switch or a clock or something, which times 5 seconds, and then out pin 10 turn to on. So you're telling the little processor to do this little thing, to switch a little switch on or something, or put some lights on, so that's basically the algorithm. So people think algorithm is like, I suppose they got it in their mind, an algorithm is like a set of like code on the screen that you're writing to do something, but that's only a little bit of the algorithm. The algorithm is the problem you start with and then the finished result. So you might be thinking, okay, I want an algorithm that will say at 6 o'clock, turn on my TV. So you write a code in here, you open the file. The first thing you do in the algorithm is open the software. Then the next thing is, new file. That's the next part of the algorithm. It's creating ones and zeros. Every option you change. So by the time you get out the other end, you've created a little file to upload to your microcontroller that will say, turn on my TV at 6 o'clock. So, you might have done a bit of code in the middle to upload, but that's not the whole of the algorithm. That's just part of this programming of this piece of software to complete the algorithm. So it's just the internal workings of the code part of it. So yeah, so this is a GUI, a graphic user interface, which Unix never had. It just had commands, and it had it did have some blue screens. You could click some objects and things, a bit like the early computers. I actually had a Unix computer. It was one Mum got from somewhere, called I Love My PC, and I wish I'd have kept it because it was the bare bones Unix. So I don't know where it is now. I would have loved to have kept that, but at the time I didn't appreciate it. I didn't really know what it was because no one had initiated me. I should have been initiated into the club, or whatever you want to call it, into the guild of programmers, but no one really probably wanted me in there. They just wanted to steal it all. So I'm sure someone recognised me. I had that feeling all the ways around me. Everyone was trying to work me out, find out how to get my stuff or whatever. And then I started talking online, but that was after I got to heaven. I didn't care anymore. All my stuff, all my riches, all my gold, everything I own, everything I love has gone to heaven. So this is just my journey there. So, I'm already there, but it's my journey to heaven. So to find everything. And unfortunately, people think I'm going to go and punish you. I'm not. You can punish yourselves for your things you do, So it's your own fault. So and I don't want to dwell on all that negativity. I wish it didn't exist. I was just in love, enjoying my family life, the kids running around the yard, and the dog, enjoying himself with his partner. And but me and Trigger are alone. We're a bit like kings of the earth. Being Trigger, I'm the king of the humans in a way. Whether you accept that or not. And Trigger's like the king of the animals in a way. And we're still like two little kings sitting here without our partners or without our lives we deserve. And Trigger's worked just as hard for what he has too as I have. So he deserves as much praise as me. So and you all do. Everyone does. He deserves praise just as much. But I'm just saying that's just who I am. You can all be who you are. Why impose on someone else? Just accept who they are. That's who they are. They're not going to change. But you can make decisions to make life easier for each other, so they allow space for people to be themselves. Anyway, yeah. So this would look like in Unix, just to illustrate it slightly more. Without the GUI, the graphical user interface, where you can click all these buttons, which have been designed as part of the program. So part of the algorithm is options. So everything on here is an option. Do I click that on or do I leave it off? It's just the way it is. So if I go down here to this program here, terminal, this was the PowerShell is the original Unix program. It's just called PowerShell. Windows adopted it, of course. Oh, sorry, bit off screen. I'm just watching what I'm doing. So it was called PowerShell, and Windows has come along and said, oh, this is Windows PowerShell, copyright, blah, blah, blah. Unix never had any copyright or anything. It was just all meant to be a secret system that was used by the not the government, but by different agencies to administer information. And now it's just become free for all, really. I mean, even your little kids are running the world. I think that's why they pedophile these kids and turn them into these sort of masters of everything at 5 years old. I think pretty disgusting, but it's what some people are like now. They've got that power trip. It's like taking drugs, really. It's addictive and it's horrible and it's pretty disgusting to do that to little children. Make them adults before they're 18 and before they're matured. But back to this anyway. I don't want to dwell on all that stuff. That to me is corruption. It's like the waste going out the bin. I don't want to look at the bin waste. I chuck it out and I go back to what's good. So the PowerShell, so this is Unix basically. This isn't. This is a Windows designed to show you the directory. Whereas Unix doesn't have directories. It's all just, I wouldn't say commands. I would say you perform algorithms. So if you go into Unix, you'd come up just with a dot like that. I can't really do it on this, but there'd just be a dot, just like that, not even blinking. You wouldn't even have a cursor, and then you'd type something like go dash main menu. Oops, sorry. Menu dash and then exit or something. You type something like that, and at the end you put colon 2 forward slash, and then you put like to say it's an algorithm, probably like AL or something. I can't remember exactly. I don't want to write exactly, but you click that, and then something would happen. You'd have go, and then it would go to your main menu, then that'd close, and then it would say end of algorithm or something. That's how Unix sort of behaves. Windows is more like it's structured with a file system, so you can save files in that. Unix doesn't have that, so it's just all algorithms. So yeah, Windows is a lot of work. I'm not saying it's not. It's just everything that Windows is already programmed in Unix as algorithms, and then Windows is just rearranging all that. So you basically say you want to put a timer in. Unix has all that. It'll have a timer built in to the circuitry of the you'd have dot first, dot timer, space or whatever, I can't remember exactly, count down 60, count down 60 seconds. A lot of Unix is actually 4 words, so it makes it easy. You know, designed it so it was easy to operate. Then put AL at the end, and then it would count down a timer, get to 60 seconds, and say end of algorithm. It was really when you're doing this, because Unix is not just code like 101000. That's the base code of the machine, so that's the machine code. But what we built was words and letters on the keyboard that related to different numbers. So you'd have these. I don't think we had hex, but we did have another one which I've used. I've forgotten the name of it, which is similar to binary, called grey code. That's what it's called. And I learnt that at school, and I remembered everything about it. I remembered did Unix. As soon as I heard grey code, I thought, oh, that's right, grey code. So grey code is where I can't remember offhand. You might have 001, and to get to the next one, you go 0, 0, 1, 0 or something. The number moves across, so then it's 0, 1, 0, 0, and then it's 1, 1, 0, 0, 0. I think that's how it works, grey code. Whereas normally when you count, you go 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, then you'll go 0, 0, nines again, 0, 0, 1, 0, and then you'll go, that's 2, then you'll go 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, and then you'll go 0, 9, 0, 1, 0, 0, I think. So it goes 1, 2, 4, 8. So each 0 along starts at 1, then 2, then doubles. So it's 1, then doubles to 2, then doubles to 4, doubles to 8. So each one of those ones represents a number, either 1, 2, 4, or 8. So you can use those numbers to add up bigger numbers. So if you have 1, 1, 8, if you have 8, 4, and then 0, 0, 8 plus 4 is 12, so that's 12. That's writing 12, 1, 1, 0, 0. Whereas if you have 1, 1, 1, 1, that's 8 plus 4 plus 2 plus 1, that's 12, 13, 14, that's 15. So yeah, you'll often see, I'm trying to think why. Yeah, it's 15 because really it's kind of 16 because the code starts at 0, 0, 1. Whoops, 0. I can't see. 0, 1. Whoops. So cut like the 16 in a 4-digit binary in a way because the first one's 0 and then you add 15 onto that, so you've got zeros off and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 15, so you got 0 to 15 is 16 in a way. So yeah, so anyway, that's how it sort of works. That grey code was another way of ordering code a bit easier, like adding up easier or something. Yeah, you can look it up online anyway, I can't remember offhand. But yeah, the machine code or the binary related to letters and everything. So every time I type a T represents a number in binary, so that tells the computer that's a T. Otherwise, the computer doesn't know. It doesn't have eyes. It can't see that's a T. But when you string along words and construct words from letters, and then you can then construct words and put them as a command as that word. So go will highlight like it has. So there goes highlighted yellow. So that tells me that's a key command. So go timer. That will activate something actually on your hardware that will activate an algorithm to run the go command or the timer command. Or that's what we did basically. That's basically Unix, and we did probably about 500 million of those different algorithms. It's probably about 500 million. There's billions of lines of code. It's all been simplified now into different languages and C++, and C++ is like a million lines. It's not that much compared to the billions that we wrote. Like, just took forever understanding how it all worked and everything. And yeah, gosh, I'm remembering really deeply now, thinking of back. You know, look, I'm not going to redo Unix. That's done for me. If I ever do something, I'll do a Unix 2, call it something else, and it will be totally different. It'll be something like a spaceship or something, like Enterprise or something. This Unix, probably at its highest level of ability to be a machine, because that's what Unix is. It's software. It's commands, so you can. It's different software commands. Basically, it's a button to switch things on and off. That's all it is. The keyboards are just on-off buttons. The things to say, turn that on or off. Turn a 7 on or off. Do I want a 7? Push it. That's on. If I don't push it. Push another button. So you just buttons. So it's like on a command on a ship. So you know, you want to start the engine, you push the on button. That'll send the go command to the system that runs the engine. And you might want to do 50 things at once. When you push that one button, you need a code and a microprocessor and different pins and different things. They might use a big thing that looks like a box back in the day, you know, but now it's done this big as a little pin. So that's all it is a button. Like all your machines, they're just buttons that display stuff. You might have an LED display like the TV does down there, and that has a little crystal display on it, and each one of those segments is an on or off little switch. So it just displays a 2 or a 4 or whatever. So it's when it's on screen, it can get a bit complicated and it drains your mind seeing that many lines of on-off commands running through the screen so quickly. You know, you can't notice it, but you do when it gets out of sync. The V-sync goes out and it flickers, and that's when you really notice the code and or the light flashing. So yeah, it's a lot for our brains to handle. That's why I thought a non-binary one would be better. That's not on or off. It's more just always on. So it's not really binary. It's just on. But I haven't got there really. I've sent that to heaven. That can go somewhere else. And if I do overwrite something, it might be a non-binary thing, probably Unix 2, but I'll call it something else, and it'll be something to build like a Starship Enterprise or something, a base system for that. If I ever do it, look, it's a lot of work. I need perfect silence. I need a perfect living environment. I need harmony. I need the government to fix our money problems. We've got money problems. Everyone's suffering loss of wages, and it's not just from working. It's from being a good citizen. We should be getting some money to help us out because we're a good, not commodity, I would say asset for our countries. And we should be given a bit of money to take the burden off, so you're not putting it all on Jesus or someone. You know, because I suffer for all that. You know, everyone placing their problems on me all day. They should just be able to deal with it with some money, you know, go out and buy whatever they need. And it takes the burden off me instead of me burning in hell. Not in hell, but I'm burning sort of from everyone's sadness, you know, and you know, hell's not people on earth suffering. Hell is fire, you know, you fall into. But this is like me in everyday life suffering for your worries. Why should I put up with that? It's not my worries. Do it with money. You know, the worries are money worries. They're nothing to do with me. They're not spiritual. They're nothing else. They're money worries. You're stressed about living. So you should be able to deal with that, and everyone would profit, and everyone would get up off their feet and go get a job. And people might take drugs to start with, but that's their own life. So, you know, it's better than prostituting all your kids and ruining their lives, turning them to 5-year-old adults who just don't know how to live and kill themselves by the time they're 25 or 30 or whatever. So, you know, want people living as long as they want and contributing to the space age which is coming up. If by 3000 we haven't fixed this money, I'll tell you what, I'm going to blow up the planet start again. You know, I'm just sick of this contempt for our citizens who work very hard all day for no little reward. Some people are working, you know, all day for like 20 or 30 bucks an hour. It's ridiculous. They should be getting at least 200 bucks an hour, you know. So I think it's disgusting the way people are treated. And there's these people just there buying $1 billion homes just given to them for doing what? I don't know. But anyway, that's Unix. I don't want to dwell on all those money worries and all the other problems associated with it. That's all the garbage going out the back. Comes and goes, all that. This other stuff stays. This is all good stuff that stays. So yeah, so don't be afraid of computers. It's just more how it's handled. It's run by, I wouldn't say tyrants. I'd say probably the opposite word. You know, toddlers. It's run by adults that still think they're kids. You know, they haven't grown up. And, you know, you can just get away with murder, and mummy and daddy will just say, "Oh, they're there." You know, but you may kill mummy soon if you're not careful. Anyway, I was going to finish off with something. Oh yeah, about that's right, about what Unix. Probably the thing that this system Unix was probably the best thing we could probably build on Earth using this, the algorithm system behind Windows, Mac, all that. I would say, sadly, probably some kind of war machine. I would say look, I'll go a step ahead of that. I'll say an energy machine that creates. I would say not clean energy though, because it's not that good. Unix, it's a bit clumsy. I would say probably a fission reactor. That's the best thing you could build with Unix. That's ultimately what it would be, a fission reactor. Not nuclear, just fission reactor. Where you're taking elements from the atmosphere, from materials, and fusing them together, bonding atoms, creating new energy or new materials, which could be useful. We haven't got there yet. We've been hacked down and trampled on by Windows and all this other time wasting. It's pure time wasting, a lot of this. It's not how it should be used, all this stuff, but it does the job for some people, but not everyone. I think it's just disgusting, really, how people are treated. That they're not worthy of God's invention, or whatever you want to, Christ's invention, or Christ's work. You know, they're not worthy of the good work. They're just take a potato and eat that all month. You know, rather than have a nice meal. It's pretty disgusting treatment. Anyway, I won't dwell on it. I think from a fission reactor energy, not clean energy though, so maybe we're a bit past that now. We've bypassed the whole fission journey, but maybe we'll work on the Starship Enterprise, which is pure perfection, the perfect ship really for space travel, and the design's a bit different than the movies, of course, but it's quite a big ship. Probably, I would say the big actual hull of it would be as big as the MCG, and then it would have the big tail coming out. It's a bit different than the movies because they have it upside down or something. It looks a bit strange. It should be a little more like That round bit should be at the back. I don't know why they've got it at the front. It looks a bit funny. I suppose they think the other bits are jets, but that's not how it goes, I don't think. Anyway, yeah. Food for thought. Alright, see you later. Uncle Evie over and out. Peace, peace. Not that, peace, peace. Bunny ears. Easter Bunny coming up soon. Get your chocolate. Make your own chocolate. Make healthy chocolate for Easter, for me. Get all the ingredients to make healthy chocolate. See if you can do it. Not so much sugar. I don't know, something to do, isn't it? I'll try and do it myself, make a chocolate recipe. I'll do it from my own mind. I won't actually look it up. Happy Easter.